Remember Quibi? You know, Quibi. The streaming service, Quibi. It had that one show with Dane DeHaan. You know, Dane DeHaan from The Amazing Spider-Man 2? Dane DeHaan from Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets? You know, Dane DeHaan, he starred in that hit Quibi show that he was on? You know, Quibi.
That is genuinely one of my favorite bits.
At some point, someone will just say something, right? And it makes me think of Quibi, and I just start that bit. And I start it with anyone, like normal people. And I do it because I know that they don't know what Quibi is. And that's also why I do the Dane DeHaan bit, because I know people don't want to remember The Amazing Spider-Man 2, so they especially won't remember Dane DeHaan from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And like, I don't have anything against Dane DeHaan. In fact, I like his acting. He's just in consistently not memorable things. At least, you know, to normal people. If you're here watching my videos, you're not normal, you know that.
And normal people, they just don't get us, you know? Anyway, for those of you who don't remember, Quibi was a streaming service that was meant to show a short series of episodes that were all less than about 10 minutes long. The idea being, if you're not doing anything for like 10-ish minutes, you could watch an episode of something on Quibi, and then just go back to whatever it was you were doing. So kind of like how you watch clips from movies or TV shows on TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. You're just watching a very small part of a much larger movie or TV show. But Quibi wasn't showing you minute-long clips of your favorite movies and TV shows. It showed you new original content from Quibi. And that's not really the ideal way to watch something for the first time. On any of the other platforms I just mentioned, I watch a funny clip of something that I've already seen, and I'm happy. I don't have any urge to stick around and watch more of it. Or if it's something I've never seen, then hey, it's a fun little teaser. And if I like it enough, then I save the clip or just find the name of the movie or show and watch it later. But I don't care to sit down while I'm waiting for my food at a restaurant and watch 10 minutes of a horror thriller where a dude gets in a rideshare and turns out to be a serial killer. Like, I just want to watch New Girl clips, and then when my food's ready, I can just put my phone away and not worry about it. But I do want to give Quibi some credit, because it was back in like 2019 when I started seeing the commercials for Quibi, so they had to have at least started a little bit before then. So back in 2018, 2019, they were able to at least acknowledge, hey, people really like watching Family Guy clips on their phones. What if we could do something like that, but like even bigger? I think the idea was there. They didn't know how to execute on it. Now, I've had the idea to make this Quibi video for a while, and I plan on watching like a bunch of the Quibi shows and then just talking about them. But the problem with that is that I didn't want to watch any of them. Like, I never cared enough to go actually find the Quibi shows and then watch them. But that has been the plan for like the last year or two. But a few weeks back, I opened up Hulu and I saw the Dane DeHaan Quibi show as a movie on Hulu. Like, I swear to God, that is how I recognized it, okay? And I swear, I have been doing the Dane DeHaan Quibi bit for years now. Like, ever since I saw any Quibi, I knew about the Dane DeHaan Quibi show, and so that's always been my go-to bit. And then all of a sudden, the Quibi show from my bits just pops up on Hulu, and I can instantly recognize it. I've never been more proud of myself and more disgusted of myself. But there was genuine excitement from me of like, holy shit, this is it. I am being called upon by the gods to watch this and then finally make my Quibi video. And I gladly accepted their call. I gladly watched The Stranger on Hulu starring Dane DeHaan, and I didn't like it. So the premise of The Stranger is that a woman is doing a rideshare thing, like she goes and picks people up, and she ends up picking up this guy who is trying to kill her. Pretty simple on the surface, except they wanted to do more than just that. And I don't think they knew exactly what they wanted to do more of, so they just did more. At first, it is that the stranger, played by Dane DeHaan, does threaten our protagonist Claire, played by Micah Monroe, and she crashes her car in order to get away from him. But when she goes and talks to the police, there is no record of this stranger. He wasn't at the house. The house she picked him up at was not his. There were other people living in there, and we're like, oh, we had no idea what's going on. The texts that they had exchanged through the app are now gone, and his luggage turned into an inflatable sex doll. So now the idea is, what's going on? And later, Claire calls her mom, and her mom mentions something like this happened before. So maybe this guy's not real. And also, the next time we see him, he isn't bleeding. There isn't even a mark, so all the signs kind of pointing to, yeah, he's not real. But then he starts messing with Beck from Victorious, and you think, like, so he is real, right? But, like, no one else has actually seen Dane DeHaan. Like, Beck hasn't even seen Dane DeHaan, so maybe she is crazy, or she's dreaming, or, like, hallucinating all of it, or something. Like, it is hard to understand how Dane DeHaan is doing all this crazy Watchdog style hacking and has like Batman level planning to predict where Claire is going to go and who she's going to trust and whose car she's going to get into, because he figures all this out and puts a gun in Beck's car and calls the cops on them for, I assume, just so we can have like a racist cop interaction. Or like maybe it just adds another layer to them already being on the run. Like, oh, look, they can't go to the cops now because the cops are on. I don't know. So it just doesn't quite make sense how a normal person could be doing all this. But then Beck and Claire split up, but then Claire gets a call from Dane DeHaan saying, hey, I got Beck, so like, he's real, or is this still like a weird dream hallucination? But then later, like, Claire figures out a way to prove to the police that like all this is real, and it works. So like, he is officially real. That's it. He is very real. But then Claire and all of the police end up getting outsmarted by Dane DeHaan and end up killing Beck, who they thought was Dane DeHaan in a bathroom stall in the police station. They didn't get him. Dane DeHaan got them. They didn't get him. But he is very real and just a normal guy. Or well, like, he isn't normal, right? Like he was a murderer and a self-diagnosed sociopath who was also an incel, just yelling about like women, their Facebook posts, Nancy Pelosi, like, and again, all the Watchdog super hacker stuff, like, none of it's normal. But actually, it does kind of remind me of Madam Web. Dude using super facial recognition technology to track down his target onto a train where no one else sees them, and their biggest weakness is vehicle-related injuries? Just saying. But wait, no, this came out before Madam Web. So Madam Web got its story from The Stranger, starring Dane DeHaan from The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It all makes sense! It's all connected to Spider-Man! Everything connects back to Spider-Man! Anyway, Claire outsmarts Dane DeHaan by using her dog that she knew he would adopt and had perfect aim throwing her dog leash to cause Dane DeHaan to get into a car accident, and then just lets him get eaten by coyotes. That's the movie. It's bad. I didn't like it. I watched it twice. I didn't like it either time. Knowing this was initially a Quibi movie, I can tell where the episodes were separated by the big, like, panning over the city shots or just an awkward cut to the next scene. But if you don't know it's a Quibi movie, I wonder how that went. Just being like, that cut felt kind of weird, or like they really like panning over the city, huh? Again, they're doing a lot. Like, oh, is the stranger real? Like, yes. Is Claire crazy? No. Did she shoot the cop? No. Like, it's a lot of mysteries that I think were meant to be for like the weekly aspect of this show. Because yeah, it was weekly, by the way. Like, this movie feels like it was more of a proof of concept show for Quibi more than it was like trying to tell a good story or have any kind of a deeper meaning. It feels like, hey, can we do a suspense thriller in 13 10-ish minute episodes that we put out weekly? No, they couldn't. Like, this format just doesn't work. I can't imagine being in a situation where like, oh, I'm waiting for my friends and I think, yeah, I have a Quibi, so I start part 6 of The Stranger, but oh, halfway through my friends show up, so like I pause it. Like, that's not how this works. That's not how you would want to watch a suspense thriller thing like The Stranger. So based off of the one thing that I have seen from Quibi, it feels like it was always doomed to fail. Like, this could never work. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just this one specific horror thriller thing. Just, it's not good. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure the internet does. So if we take a quick look at the Quibi Wikipedia here, because I'm not trying to do real research, we can see all the different genres that Quibi had, which include drama, comedy, unscripted docuseries, reality, continuous, daily essentials, lifestyle, news, and animation. So like most things. Just like, do you watch things? Quibi has things. I mean, it seems like they had something going for them. They had a lot of popular stars to be in their shows and advertise for them, and like I said before, they did understand people like to watch short bits of movies on their phones when they're bored, so like it was promising at the least. There were just strange choices, like bringing back Punk'd in 2020 when we all kind of hated pranks. Like, we were over pranks. And they got Chance the Rapper to host it after putting out his album that, based on how I've seen the internet react, it ruined his musical career. Oh wait, no, that's not true. He hosts The Voice. Back to Punk'd. I watched him prank Sabrina Carpenter, and it was just not a good prank. Like, it was just boring. Whose idea was it to bring this back and put it on Quibi? Should be fired. They actually did get fired because Quibi shut down 6 months after it started. By the way, they gave people a free 3-month subscription. So they really only had like 3 months to be profitable. Like, that's only 3 months for them to actually be earning money from people paying for the subscription. And it was probably well-deserved based on the one movie and couple of episodes of random things I've watched. So apparently after Quibi shut down, they were acquired by Roku, so a lot of the shows are just on Roku's streaming service, which, does anyone have that? How's Roku doing? I'm kidding, I don't care. I know Kevin Hart's show, Die Hart, got picked up on Amazon Prime, so, like, there was clearly something there. Like, there was something big enough for Amazon to want to pick up. I'm pretty sure there were also just terrible business decisions. Like, that's what a lot of the other YouTube videos about Quibi talk about. Like, all those videos are from when Quibi shut down, and primarily talk about how dumb people made dumb things, and it died in 6 months. Some of them also brought up how COVID didn't help because they were advertising as like watching something when you had free time, like in between doing things. And in 2020, all people had was free time. So much time that, like, why would anyone watch a 10-minute clip of something when you could just watch like New Girl? I mean, I didn't get to do that because I still had to go to work. But, like, I sure as shit wasn't watching Quibi on my breaks. Like, no one was. And now they're gone. And no one remembers them, and it makes my joke extremely satisfying to me.
You remember my Quibi joke, right? You know, Quibi.